Good afternoon. You are just in time for Newsfeed here on TV 47. My name is Musa Saleh. Let's now take a look at some of the top stories making news at this hour. Now, the Kenya Tea Development Agency KTDA is calling for the immediate release of 4 staff members who were arrested yesterday after DCI officers raided KTDA Farmers Building in the Nairobi CBD. It is not still clear what the sleuths from the DCI are looking for. The building is still under the command of the police. Take a look.
This is in relation to the executive order where the tea management, executive order number 3 of 2021. It's about the tea management in this country, where the issues of auction and everything have been dealt with in that executive order. But the High Court has suspended those clauses. So that is why we are not even into that realm of the petition itself. We are here just basically to have our clients released because they are not named respondents or parties in the petition or in even the orders that were issued by the subordinate court. Thank you.
Now, bar owners in Kiambu County are pleading with the national and county governments to assist them and their staff with relief food after the closure of their businesses following the onset of the 3rd wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking in Kiambu County, the association chairman Joseph Kariuki says the government needs to engage in financial institutions to extend a moratorium on loans repayment and waive loan interest, since many Kenyans have lost their major source of income. The entertainment and tourism industry has been the hardest hit sector during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Talked about the closure that we had last year that also resulted to a partial opening. We are asking our business partners and especially the manufacturers to also extend some credit facility to our members so that when the time comes to resume, then we will be able now to have a way out. So we are actually asking our partners, our senior partners like EABL and the rest, to come in and issue and offer support to these suffering traders. As much as all other traders have been affected, I think our industry is one of the areas that has been hit most. So we would be asking, or rather we are asking the governor to consider this particular industry and through us as the leaders and our association, so that we can be able to get funds at reasonable rates so that we can be able to come back to business.
Rice farmers in Mwea irrigation scheme in Kirinyaga County are counting losses following the invasion of Quelea birds that have so far destroyed hundreds of acres of rice plantations. According to the farmers, the birds are invading their farms in millions, thereby destroying swathes of plantations in minutes. The farmers are now calling on the Ministry of Agriculture to intervene.
Hii mambo na ndege imetusumbua sana. Unaamka saa 10, unakuja kwa shamba, unazipata huko, kufunga ni jioni, na bado ziko unafunga jioni saa 1, na siku mzima hakuna kukaa chini. Unashinda ukipiga hizo ndege.
Imekuwa ndo na ndugu kwetu kwa sababu imetuletea hata hasara kubwa. Sasa tunaomba serikali kama iko na uwezo ituangalilie mambo ya hawa ndege ili ituangamizie, ili at least tuone kama tutapata kitu cha kujinua kimaisha.
Over 50 children who had been drawn from Lake Victoria, where they were involved in hard labor such as fishing, are among those who recorded exemplary results in the 2020 KCPE examinations. 3 of the children scored over 400 marks. The Catholic Church in Home of Untold County started the initiative of rehabilitating the children who had been away from school for years. The school's director, Father Eric Ochieng, says this was the first time the school was registering candidates for KCPE, and they were impressed with the results. Some of the girls reported that their parents value taking boys to school and that they are left at home to work.
I managed to score 404 marks in my KCPE. I humbly thank God for these results. I never expected such. and the teachers, the school and the church for always supporting us as a school. For we were children brought from the lake and we had no other way to go. But the school gave us hope that our future can be brightened by bringing us here and educating us.
After celebrating this result, we are going back to the lake to look for those children who are still lost there.
They were actually in the lecture. Some of them were involved, were providing manual labor to the fishmongers at the lecture. They were providing labor in the form that they were being used as errand boys. Some of them were picking the omena along the lake, and some of them were engaged in the rimba business. They were being employed as laborers.
We have tried to maintain them by giving them local sponsorship as a school, and most of our guys were not even paying school fee. So we maintained them in our school, and we organized for them local boarding.
Now, St. Peter's Mumias Primary has produced two of the best performing students in Kakamega County in the recently released KCPE results. Oliver Shema and Mark Joe scored 427 marks each. Other schools that performed well are Buka, Mumias Complex and St. Anne's, with top student in each school posting 425, 424 and 424 marks respectively. Buka Deputy Head Teacher William Mayowe says that 90 candidates out of 256 scored 400 marks and above.
Kushukuru walimu, mtawa Onyanja na kila mtu katika shule hii.
It takes prayers. God has done us proud as a family. I'm very thankful unto him.
The school has performed very well, and the reason why the school has performed very well is because of one, the unity we have among the teachers, parents and the pupils.
All the good results Buka Academy has posted just up to the teachers. I think that the best teachers Kenya has to offer. So it's all up to them. They give us their best and we also give them our best. That's the way a school goes.
When I grow up, I'd like to be mostly an engineer. And my dream school is Light Academy, who is in Nairobi.
Now we had a candidature of 94 children, candidates, and the last kid scored 331. We have a mean of 379.2, and that's quite a big achievement.
I would like to become a medical doctor because I feel like my heart yearns to heal people, to help people, especially those with cancer.
And I wish to join my dream high school, the Kenya High School, and I would like to be a pediatrician so that I can help those children who are suffering.
2019, we had 365.86, and this 2020, we have 363. Only a slight drop of 1.86.
Now, Busia County celebrated its top KCPE performers despite the threat posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Voren Mukaso Victory Junior School scored 419 to top the border county, while Martin Nasimiu came in second with 414 marks to spark the celebrations.
We celebrate glory for good work.
Got 414 marks, and I want to be a doctor in future, and I want to help those who are in need.
Let's cross the borders over to the UK, where Queen Elizabeth will bid a final farewell to Prince Philip, her husband of more than 7 decades, at a ceremonial funeral today, with the UK set to fall silent to mark the passing of a pivotal figure in the British monarchy. While the ceremony will include some of the traditional grandeur of a significant royal event, there will be just 30 mourners inside St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle for the funeral funeral service because of COVID-19 restrictions. There will be no public procession. All the congregation will wear masks, and the Queen, who says the death has left a huge void, will sit alone. Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, who had been by his wife's side throughout her record-breaking 69-year reign, died peacefully at the age of 99 last week at the castle where the royal couple had been staying during a recent lockdown. Now, the Brazilian Health Ministry has asked women to delay getting pregnant until the worst of the pandemic passes. The Brazilian health officials say the virus variant that is devastating the South American country appears to affect expectant mothers more than earlier versions of the virus. The recommendation comes as Brazil continues to be one of the global epicenters of the pandemic, with more Brazilians dying of the virus each day than anywhere else in the world. Hospitals are buckling under the strain, and stocks of drugs needed for incubating severely ill patients are running perilously low, with Brazil turning to international partners for help with emergency supplies. Previously, COVID-19 cases during pregnancy were focused on the final trimester and birth, whereas lately there have been more serious cases in the second and occasionally first trimester. Now over to the U.S., where President Joe Biden has said U.S. firearms deaths are national embarrassment following a shooting in Indianapolis that killed 8 people. Biden called on Congress to ban military-style assault firearms. Earlier this month, Biden announced limited measures to tackle gun violence that included a crackdown on assembled ghost guns, but more stringent measures face an uphill battle in a divided Congress, where Republican lawmakers have long opposed any new gun limits.
This has to end. It's a national embarrassment. It is a national embarrassment what's going on. And it's not only these mass shootings that are occurring. Every single day, there's a mass shooting in the United States, if you count all those who were killed out on the streets of our cities and our rural areas. It's a national embarrassment and must come to an end. I strongly support the universal background checks, which I continue to push. The Congress has to step up and act. The Senate has to act. And I strongly support and continue and never stop supporting the ban on assault weapons and magazines that hold more than 10 bullets. Who in God's name needs a weapon that can hold 100 rounds or 40 rounds or 20 rounds? It's just wrong. And I'm not going to give up till it's done.
Still in the U.S. President Joe Biden signed an order on Friday to keep the U.S. refugee cap at historically low 15,000. A senior administration official said opting against a plan he has been considering to raise it to 62,500. The decision was a blow to refugee advocates who had wanted Biden to move swiftly to reverse the policies of his Republican predecessor Donald Trump, who had set the 15,000 cap as a way to limit immigration. Biden's 2 months ago had considered raising the cap to 62,500, and early on Friday, a group of Democratic lawmakers renewed appeals for him to act. Now back to our top story. The Kenya Tea Development Agency KTDA is calling for the immediate release of 4 staff members who were arrested yesterday after DCI officers raided the KTDA Farmers Building in the Nairobi CBD. It is not yet clear what the sleuths from DCI are looking for. And now we are joined live by our very own Grace Josephine, who is at the KTDA building. Grace, good afternoon. What is the situation like on the ground?
Afternoon, Salah. We are here live at the KTDA offices. Now, this is the same place where the 4 junior ICT officers are being held against their will. Now, the agency legal team claims there is no directive or rather order saying that they should be detained illegally. Now, this is what we expect, that after this, should they fail to be released, the legal team has threatened to go to court and seek their immediate arrest through the law. The families of these officers are camping, or rather have been camping here, trying to find out how they can reach their kin because they no longer have contact with them. The officers, of course, who came to raid these premises are covered in masks, so nobody can tell their identity. A few officials have disclosed to us that some of those officers are inclusive of KRA officers as well. So we have not been able to fully get the matter or the identity of these officers, but we are hoping at least by close of business today we'll have more information on the matter. Back to you, Salah.
Well, that's our very own Grace Josephine at the KTDA headquarters here in Nairobi. It is understood that DCI detectives yesterday raided the KTDA headquarters, and it is not yet